exclusively in public schools. Darren was a member of the first class of Head Start in 1965 and graduated from the University of Texas at Austin, which in 2009 recognized him with its Distinguished Alumnus Award, its highest alumni honor. I present to you Darren Walker.
Here in one of the most beautiful halls in the world, this magical place in this city of Nairobi, this jewel of an urban city, the kinetic energy. I always am energized by my visits to this country and to this city. There are so many reasons why I love coming to Kenya. I'm grateful for the invitation, and I'm grateful to all of you who would take time out of your busy schedules to come today. I think my journey in many ways is a journey of hope. And at the Ford Foundation, we are in the business of hope. And so I like to think that, yes, it's true that I, by many estimates, would not be bound for success because I grew up in poverty, or because I had a single mother and never knew my father, or because I never had the money to go to private schools. None of these things got in my way because I lived in a country and in a community that believed in me. And I think that that is the most fundamental thing a country, a culture, a nation must do to its young people. And while I was born in poverty, poverty was not within me. And I lived a life where I had my community standing behind me and cheering me on. That work has been characterized by what I call the 3 I's: ideas, institutions, and individuals. Our job is to be an investor in the 3 I's. And so we have supported the creation of literally hundreds of organizations on this continent and in this region. We have supported the education of literally tens of thousands of Africans. And I'm reminded of the recent passing of Kofi Annan, and at his memorial service, his wife reminded us of how he came to America from Ghana. He came to America on a Ford Foundation scholarship. And he, like many promising Africans, were able to receive an education and go on to the global stage and make transformational differences all over this world. Ford Foundation, we are focused singularly on the issue of inequality and human dignity. And we see that manifest in our work primarily through the lens of young people. This is a country with over 70% of the population below the age of 35. That is an astronomical data point. For someone like me, that gives me huge hope in this country's future. Because young people, these young people, are your assets for change. They are the engine for change in society. So what we are focused on at Ford is how do we invest in the voice of young people, in empowering young people, in educating young people. We also at the same time believe that civil society matters in a democracy, and that no strong democracy can exist without a robust civil society. So investing in the infrastructure of civil society is important. We also believe that we must have effective, responsive government. Individuals and collectively to demand of government less corruption, more responsiveness, more true representation of the voice and the belief and the priorities of the people. There is no World Bank intervention that can fix that. Local people, people in communities, have to say our girls should be educated. They should not be subjected to genital mutilation. They should not be at age 10 sent off to be married. We have to believe in them and in their own dignity. And if we believe in their dignity, we will empower them. We will invest in them. On this continent and in this country, and certainly you Kenyans have experienced the ugliness of the ethnic, tribal distinctions that keep us from loving each other. And you have experienced the lows of that in this country. And you know where it can take you. And so we have to think about how do we bridge those differences? Where are our leaders who are helping us to bridge those differences? Those are the ways in which I think about people who are left out. If you are disabled today, in so many parts of the world, you are invisible. I think a lot about what it must be like to be in a wheelchair and try to navigate and negotiate your way. Institutions have big endowments in the United States. Harvard has a $38 billion endowment. Yale has a $25 billion endowment. Gates Foundation has a $30 billion endowment. These are huge amounts of money. The question becomes, what are we doing with that money to benefit society? Not just to make an investment, but to ask ourselves, how do we deploy this capital for not only a financial return, but a social return?
The youth. How do we do this? When we have the old people who are stuck, and they are stuck. They are stuck in such a way that when the youth try to come in, they are chasing them away. But I really want to.
These young people are our hope, our future. And you are training them, mentoring them, helping them. And sometimes to them, it feels like you're standing in their way. And that's typical. That's the way it's supposed to be in some way. Because they are young and energized and impatient and ready for change now.
Building young people and building enough opportunities for young people to thrive in dignified work that they are passionate about. Maybe you could, yes.
Well, I think, you really can't have dignity without a job, without work. So let's start there. And I think one of the challenges for countries like Kenya is that you need mechanisms that increase employment. And so I'd like to share that the Ford Foundation is making an additional $400,000 grant to the university to help further advance And I also am very interested in the ideas of the young people in this room. Their aspirations to be engaged in the life of the university and in the life of this city and in this country.
In Africa, we have a lot of youth. And this youth is what you do with that youth. Youth can be a blessing or a curse, depending on how you deal with it. If this youth is not empowered, they have become delinquents, they become drug addicts, they become criminals, and basically are scourge in society. But if they are empowered, given proper education, proper skills, then they can become forms for wealth creation. This is what countries like China have done. India, Korea, and so on. They have empowered the youth, giving them equal opportunity from the very beginning. That every youth born in the society gets equal opportunity to realize his given potential. Young people don't have to leave their homes to get degrees. And now I challenge this institution to increase the number of online courses they offer.